Insulated phone case for skiing and snowboarding, and this is our 2017 slide deck. It doesn't work. Alright, so let's just meet the team really quick. I am Mason Church, CEO and Fearless Leader.
I'm Matthew Curran, I'm the Operations Wizard.
I'm John Griffin, Chief CMO and Marketing Ninja.
I'm Grant Robinson, and I'm the money guy.
Alright, so really quick, I just want to talk about the inspiration behind this product. A couple years ago, I was out in Vail, my phone died, and I was really just pissed off and annoyed. It was pretty hungover that day, in the honest truth, and just the combination of all the factors left me pretty frustrated. I went and talked to a bunch of buddies, and apparently they all had the same issue, but they didn't actually know what it was. And after doing some more research, I realized batteries do not like the cold. They absolutely hate it. So from then, I started going on the internet trying to see what kind of solutions we might have. And it really was not good. We were looking at hand warmers, burying it in layers, pant pockets, and body heat, and honestly I think all that's rubbish. So during that research there was one quote that really resonated with me, and that was that keeping your phone on you can mean quite literal life or death. I came across a guy in the forest with a broken femur and no phone. Turn it off and warm it up before I use it. So this case is going to be the kind of case that you would buy for the little conveniences of being able to text your friends, being able to Snapchat your friends, listen to music, and be connected on the mountain, but it could also be life insurance. It could be literally life or death. If you take that bad fall and you're in the backcountry or you're in the woods and you can't get any connection, you're not going to be able to get in contact with ski patrol, and you're not going to be able to get that help that you really need. So we're really excited that it could definitely help people out in those kind of situations. Our solution is pretty simple right now. We're going to have a hollow chamber on the back of the case that will use aerogel insulation, which is the most effective thermal insulation available on this planet right now. It's top-notch, used on spaceships, and it will absolutely slow down the heat loss from our phone and keep the battery life on longer.
Alright, so the market size for the ski industry is $9 billion currently. The growth this year was $9 million in revenue, and there are approximately 20 million skiers in the US alone. So, with that said, these 20 million skiers fit into three categories: the infrequent, the occasional, and the frequent. So we will be targeting the frequent skier, which means that they ski over 10 days a year, and we will be starting with the local area, as it's the easiest, and then we will move on to New England area. With that said, this is our customer's persona. This is Whitaker, Whitaker. He's a 17-year-old that's living in Highlands Ranch, Colorado with his affluent parents. He is glued to his iPhone because he doesn't like to miss out on a good time, and he loves his social media. He skis over 25 days a year, never misses a powder day. And he and his buddies, they like to make ski edits and other such videos and post them on their Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever it may be. And so yeah, that's Whitaker. And from that, we derived our marketing strategy. So we're going to go with a guerrilla tactic for cost reasons, to keep funding low, or because funding is low in the beginning. We're going to utilize social media heavily. Instagram, as we already have over 2,000 followers. We're going to use Facebook, Snapchat, New Schoolers as a skiing platform, and Amazon. So we're going to use a cost per click method to begin with, as it minimizes our costs, since we'll only be charged when someone clicks on it. As well, it increases our SEO optimization for backlinking, as once they click it, they'll be redirected right to our website. From there, we're going to look at sponsorships. We're going to sponsor pro athletes for skiing, snowboarding to begin with, as well as clubs like the CU Freeride team, who they'll do Snapchat takeovers, posting funny videos of themselves, giving our CryoCase a good shout out, as well as they will attend our events that we will host, such as rail jams, product giveaways, and competitions. And then lastly, we're going to go to trade shows, both in the phone accessories industry and also the ski and snowboard industry, to try and get into both parts and bring them together. So now the money guy is going to go into the key drivers.
Awesome, thanks, Sean. So before I get into some hard numbers, I just wanted to go over some key drivers for our business. So our first major one is customer acquisition, getting people actually to our site and then converting them to buying our product. So we'll first achieve this by spending on a marketing budget like John was addressing, on pay-per-click ads, social media, sponsorships, things like that, which will drive traffic, which in turn will hopefully allow us to achieve a higher conversion rate for our online sales. Normally right now, the average online is about 2 to 4% for conversion. We're trying to achieve between 6 and 8% with our devoted community and really tight-knit, supportive group of customers that we're having that are satisfied with their product. Next is revenue. So through these high conversion rates and high growth, through our later funding that we'll get into, we hope to decrease unit expenses and just grow our revenue as fast as we can to decrease all these expenses and increase our revenue. So now I'll go over some kind of high-level summary numbers. So you can see here in year one, we're going to be doing a lot of prototyping, testing to make sure our product is as high quality as possible before we get it out on the market. That'll continue over to year two, where we plan to launch our product in September. We're planning to break even in September because through those whole first year and a half, we'll be doing pre-sales and we'll be able to recognize all of that revenue in September. And we have pretty low costs until then as well. So our break even is about $270,000, and our burn rate with those assumptions is about $15,000 a month. We also did a conservative one, building in a 6 to 8 month cushion. That upped our break even quite a bit because we'll be doing a lot of inventory orders, we'll be doing a lot more cost of goods sold, and our burn rate will be about $20,000 a month. And all these are under the assumption that our unit price is $60 per unit, and that one conversion on our site equals 1 case sold. So next we'll be going into the funding plan. So for our company, we'll be steering clear of debt financing. We think that'll minimize our risks and it'll decrease our costs for interest. We think we'll be able to achieve all of our goals doing a pretty minimal round of equity financing. So initially we'll be bootstrapping with just our partners. We'll be combining a $50,000 investment, which will be injected immediately, as well as family and friends and fools, some people call. We'll be raising about $25,000, which will be in exchange for preferred stock initially. Then in the first year, we're hoping for about July or August, we're seeking a $250,000 angel investment. So this will help us continue through year 1 and 2 prototyping, and then will allow us to purchase our first 1 or 2 inventory orders, which will become profitable and hopefully be able to fund ourselves. As well as looking into strategic partners. That we don't have a dollar amount for this, but we want to potentially partner with our plastics and aerogel suppliers to decrease our costs, increase their sales, and potentially get cash injections from them to help grow our business.
Yeah, so finally I just want to talk about the operations. Now that we looked at these key drivers, we really wanted to base our operations off that. The first supplier that we're looking at is Aerogel Technologies. They're out of Boston, Massachusetts, and our second supplier is Colorado Plastics, which I've actually worked with, and they're out of Louisville, Colorado, so just about 20 minutes from here. We're going to have both of them shipped directly to Intertech Plastics in Denver, Colorado, and from there that will be packaged, processed, and sent off to our office in Boulder. We're going to distribute outward from there, shipping our e-commerce sales, local ski shops like Satellite Board Shop, and going to event sales like the trade shows we mentioned, Rail Jams, events like Dude Tour, X Games, Burton US Open, any of the above, really. Really our focus though, when it came to operations, is that we're really value driven. We realized that we need to protect our IP. We have no chance if this goes to China of succeeding. Maybe not no chance, but it would be dwindled down in comparison to keeping it here in the US. And furthermore, we want our customers to be extremely happy, and the way that we can do that is by iterating as fastly as possible. We're going to get a lot of feedback at first, and we know that. So if we can keep it in the US, we can iterate quickly, change it quickly, and keep everyone happy. So that's all we have for today, and thank you for your time.
I noticed in your revenue you didn't have a budget for marketing, or maybe you did, but I didn't see a line item for it.
Yeah,
and trade shows, sponsorships are really, trade shows are like $10,000 per person, so they're really expensive.
Yeah, definitely. We were looking at SIA memberships per year, which is Snow Sports Industry of America.
Yeah.
They do a trade show in Denver. Membership's like $1,200. per year if you're a presenter. And then I'm not sure, I don't have that personal experience, so we could try and account for that in terms of like what kind of supplies we would need to bring, what kind of booths, and I
Yeah.
guess that's one of them.
And personnel, that's the issue, is like if you go somewhere else, it's hotel, flights.
Yeah.
and then,
Were you saying it's
food
not built
and-
in here?
I was wondering if it was. I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
see a
so
line
we have that
for
actually
it.
under like kind of operational SG&A and like marketing and sales expenses.
Okay.
So we have like we accounted for like flights, hotels,
Yeah.
like
There's a
you
cheap
know
one in-
some of
There's one
the
in Las Vegas that was like $4,000 for like the booth and setup, and then you can get hotels for like $80 a night.
so we built that into
Flights
kind of the
for
first
sure.
2 years and then grew that based off of kind of revenue growth percentages.
And since it's like a big driver of your company, you might want to put that in the financial, just like so we
Okay.
can see it,
Awesome.
so you know.
Marketing as a whole or just that kind of?
Oh, just that marketing, just
Okay.
because it's in correlation, like a huge part of your presentation
Awesome.
is sponsorship and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Go for it.
For the EBIT in year one, is that math off a little bit, or is that just me? Should that be 92, 657 for the?
That's a great question. I'd have to look at the full sheet, but yes, that is a little fishy.
That's the difference in marketing.
It works. I must have omitted a line item, excuse me.
Go for it.
What's the reasoning for this like 75% increase in sales in the product?
Where did you get 75% from?
Yeah.
Oh, just the.
Or
Oh, so
75,
yeah, so we kind of just stuck with the year 3, 4, and 5 growth percentages. So in 4 and 5, we were kind of hoping to do, like John addressed, we're going to different geographical regions locally, and then we also want to source different international things to offset seasonality, maybe hit the Europe market, South America, but we wanted to really grow that, and we feel like if we tap into those social communities, we can really, grow quite quickly.
and more costs in like internationally, distributed internationally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't have set numbers on exactly shipping fees and things like that, but it's a great consideration. I'll have to adjust for that.
I think it's kind of odd that you bring up your story at the beginning and then go back to that quote. I think that quote is like a pretty powerful story.
Yeah.
So maybe if there's a way to like make that like this is why CryoCase is important, and also like having you say it instead of having it on the screen, I think is more impactful too.
Yeah, okay. So maybe even just eliminating that quote, essentially the story is handling that
Yeah. Something
same
like that. Yeah.
impact.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'm just curious, what's your plan for testing to see if this works?
First, we're going to start with like modeling, just simple like thermodynamics and heat transfer models, and try and get like a non-steady state solution and see temperature as it depends on time without a case, and temperature as it depends on time with the case, and see. We'll make like an assumption that says like at 32 degrees freezing, this is when it dies, or we'll call like one temperature, this is when it dies, and we'll see the time difference between the two. So that's what I'm working on right now is models for that.
Will you have a demo?
Demo, like, what do you mean by that?
I mean, just at least something that people can hold in their hands, even if
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not functional.
I'll have something that you'll be able to hold in your hands. I don't know if it'll be fully functional at this point.
Doesn't need to
but
be.
Yeah, I'll definitely have something you can hold in your hands.
Yeah, we're hoping to have like graphs and kind of visuals of the temperature kind of controls.
Yeah, the models I'm working on. Go for it.
What have you guys looked for considerations for your intellectual property?
Right now, like some of them were the shape of the case and actually just using aerogel in a foam case, because I think there's only one other company we've seen who's ever done that, and their intention was for more for radiation protection, so like if there's sun and heat, they just didn't want it to melt the electronics. So for this specific application, it hasn't been used, so that's kind of like what we're trying to see through for IP.
So you have to put it in a law firm, though, you're gonna.
Yeah, I should probably go to that.
Well, yeah, who's gonna come in?
Okay, sweet.
Do you know how to search like the patents?
Yeah,
We have. There's
there's a lot of aerogel patents, but nothing was on phones that we saw.
I think
There were tons of them. Yeah.
Awesome. Because honestly, like if you're talking about reverse engineering, if you got to China and whatnot, all you need is obviously you need a utility and a design patent. Good utility patent is about 12 grand with good claims, but a design patent, the good one you can get for like drawings done for about $800 and the legal stuff for in total about 2 grand. And I think the design patent is your biggest benefit because somebody that's basically it's phone case with that gel and it does this purpose.
Yeah.
So that's I guess the idea.
Yeah, definitely.
So
kind of a functionality question, but I mean, if it traps heat out, like what happens when your phone starts to heat up from the inside?
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely is going to hold the heat. So the intention is that you're using it in cold weather. We're not claiming it to be like a case that you want to use when like.
Oh, so it's not like an all the time case?
At this point, no. We haven't engineered that into it yet.
We talked about this though.
We're like considering vents, but like we just want to solve the problem for that specific time. So like the way we see it being used and kind of like the customer flow is like, you know, you're on the way to the mountain in the morning. Your car's at this ambient temperature, so your phone's approximately at the same ambient temperature as the car. And right before you leave, you just slap your case on, and then it's going to retain whatever that temperature was.
So it's not like an everyday case?
Not yet, no.
Again, too,
Sorry.
I think that's a huge thing of like who we're targeting too. You know, we're targeting people who are skiing 10, 20, 30 days a year.
Yeah.
And if you are skiing that, you know, that often, you might just keep it on in the winter because it won't get that hot. But if you're targeting somebody who just skis like once or twice, they might get annoyed at that. But somebody who skis that frequently might just keep it on the winter. So less of an issue for them.
Is there any type of heating mechanism on the inside, or are you relying on the actual phone?
Right now, I'm relying on the internal heat generation from the phone, but my models, by the time the final presentation comes up, will give me a more accurate representation of what we actually need, and we may have to pivot and say,
What's your gut telling you right now?
I'll probably need heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if the phone gets cold, you know, we're going to trap the cold inside too.
Yeah, so the way insulation, exactly. Insulation isn't a one-way process. It stops heat from moving either direction.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know about engineering, obviously, because I'm a business student, but you know how like, have you thought about using something, maybe this is in your product, but how like Columbia has omni-heat technology where it like reflects the heat back to the phone?
So what that means, yeah, we actually have definitely considered that.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if that was like the
Yeah,
same
so what
thing
that
or
is
not.
there's like, it's pretty cool actually. So there's the insulation from the aerogel, but we could also add a radiation shield that's just,
Okay,
it's
cool.
almost like a reflector. And
Okay.
that could just be like the base layer and then aerogel. So stop two different types of heat transfer.
Right, because I can see some people like not wanting to have an external like heater on their phone pretty much because I don't know. For
You wanna keep it
me,
slim.
if I didn't know anything about that, I'd be like, oh, that seems like that could malfunction and like actually completely overheat my phone
Yeah.
or whatever. Just as a person who doesn't know a lot about it, I guess. And yeah, also like the bulk.
Yeah, I think an
factor.
interesting. Oh, golly. You good? All right. I think an interesting point is that the iPhone gives you a warning when it overheats, but it doesn't give you a warning when it dies of cold. So like if your phone's getting too hot, it'll tell you, and then you could take it like say it wasn't malfunctioning, you would have a warning. But when it gets too cold, it just dies, and it's like gotcha.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I have a couple questions on that same point on the engineering stuff.
Yeah.
That works, but is this all theoretical?
I'll have better numbers by like the next few weeks, which will still be theory, but yeah,
Okay.
but they're usually pretty accurate, like within like a certain factor.
Why the open C?
What?
Okay.
Oh, wait, what?
Why is the C open?
It's just a cool design. Like honestly, I kind of think it's like a sweet little maze. You know, you might make it to the end. I don't know. I just think it looks sweet.
Also, how thick is it going to be?
Right now, anticipated is adding like an extra 3 millimeters to 5 millimeters thickness, which is really negligible. So you think about a Mophie, it's about the similar like thickness. Yeah.
Does it have any sort of protection on like the outer lip, like that,
Yeah.
like on a?
Yeah, it'll wrap around to the front for sure.
Is it iPhone only?
And initially, yeah, that's just what we see to be the most popular and the most problems. We've actually heard that some Android users are like not experiencing as much problems for some reason. I don't know why, but I don't need to know why. I just need to know it's the truth. Yeah. Go for it.
I don't know, another thought on like design, but like what if it was like a two-piece case?
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah,
bumper
absolutely.
around the outside and like you kept the other piece like in your ski bag.
Yeah,
Just, like,
yeah.
Slap like the back piece on with the.
So I have like I definitely see that. I have multiple considerations. Is I want it to be the easiest to use possible. And when you have gloves on, if you're on the lift and you're dealing with it, it's like if you don't have to snap something on and off, that would be really nice. But if that doesn't work, then I will add a cover.
But give your customers the option in the sense that the basic case without the add-on is good for 6 hours, and if you throw the add-on on, it's good for 12 hours. Whatever the numbers work out to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Solving some of that heat generation issues, you know, whenever you plug your phone into a charger, it generates a lot more heat than it does just sitting there.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it's cold, or if you want it to retain the heat, you can charge it, you know, and you can place on there.
Yeah, that is true. Definitely.
That would save you a lot of costs, and you can just include that in your directions.
Yeah, it could sort of almost pivot to be something like a multi where it's charging / using resistive heating.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So it'd be like maybe battery pack, and then also have like a, I guess I'm not trying to go too hard in terminology, but a parallel circuit that's just also
Yeah.
heating.
And you could,
Doing two things.
You could have a heat limit on that too.
Yeah, yeah,
We could also sell battery packs.
yeah. Just a thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mentioned you guys are doing these courses. Have you talked with Boulder Engineering Studio yet?
With Boulder Engineering Studio?
Yeah.
I have not chatted with them yet. No.
Yeah, they're pretty friendly with startup. They have one but it's expensive. So you can learn free from them, but you're not going to pay.
Yeah. All of that.
Yeah, you know anyone doing this research in this case in the CU?
Who's done research on it specifically?
Yeah,
I
there's
don't.
definitely one for sure. You're so big. You can search on engineer and then show up in the PhD lab, show up their lab commencing, or at least talk with them within the most cutting edge that you know. There must be someone know that.
Yeah, someone who's like very
or
specific
PhD
to this.
student. Professor projects even more for sure. If they can talk for clinical life, or a PhD student more willing to
help out.
Help out on the graduate.
Yeah, no, I could definitely use that high quality knowledge.
And since you're an engineer, and since the best will reach out, search their catalog of all professors, reach out your professor right now, use that professor, reach out to another professor. That would be way more effective. Email that professor. I email like when I start, like no professor respects me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when I start, because I'm not in their department.
Yeah.
It's gotta be the last question.
This is just like stylistically, but I think you should drop the C on CryoCase and move it closer together.
Could you wait?
Oh, interesting.
I'm confused what you mean actually.
So
Like,
get rid
give
of the
it
C where it says cryo and
Use
then
your
just
blue
have the
C as
blue
your
C
C.
as the C.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And probably make
Definitely.
everything the same color if you end up doing that. I just think it looks
No, I could definitely do that.
Will you pull up Whitaker, please?
What do we got?
Okay, the only thing that I give a shit about Whitaker is how much does he spend a year on his sports? Right? If Whitaker's, if you had a slide saying, and by the way, yeah, we know he lives in Colorado, he's going to be your target market. Yeah, it was funny. But on the other hand, if I know that Whitaker spends $3,500 a year on pass, equipment, all this stuff, or what the number is, and your phone's only $60, now I'm more convinced that Whitaker, first of all, needs to listen to music or do something, because I think people aren't going to buy that. My gut feeling is telling me that it's not going to be a safety feature first, but it's first going to be listening to music, probably.
I actually
And
had him
second-
listen to music and it would change that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say that Whitaker listens to music and hopefully he spends 10 grand on his sport. I don't know what the average is. You need to know that, because
Yeah.
that would make the slide effective versus just, I don't care that he's a hardy animal, right? If you're asking for $250,000, I want to know, am I going to get my money back and are we going to make some money?
Absolutely.
And that's what I really care about. Other than I want you to understand what your target market is. So every slide it needs to be driving towards the value proposition.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.